Hey, Vector. I'm our EVP of Communications and Brand, Vicky Zambito, and I'm here today with our new Chief Revenue Officer, Mr. Jonathan Sharens. Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for
I'm good.
having me.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about where you're calling from, where we can see your background. So tell us
Uh,
where you are and give us a little story.
I Fair enough. So I live in a town called Maplewood, New Jersey, and so this is my home office. It's on our third floor where the kids can't bother me. They're all at school today, so that's pretty safe. It's about 15, 16 miles west of New York City, close to Newark Airport. We've been in and around New York most of our lives and lived in the city for as long as we could, and then moved out to New Jersey when we started to put crib number two together in a closet. Decided it was time to leave the city. So we've been living in New Jersey out here for the last 19 years.
Wow, 19 years. So there must be a lot of great companies up in that tri-state, in New York City area. What made you choose a company where your commute is a flight?
Well, the best thing about that is even the companies in New York, when you have an office there doing jobs like mine, whether it be president, CRO, or, I run product teams, you're on the road anyway. So I always say my office is at the United Club at Newark Airport. So that kind of made the New York thing is it's easier to go to a flight sometimes than to get into New York City. That's one. But what attracted me to Vector was, so I've worked for a company many years ago called TravelClick. TravelClick was actually owned by one of our current owners, a company called Genstar. And actually Insight's a secondary one of our owners. And I've known those guys for, the last 10 or 11 years. So my last job, I was CEO of a company called Puppy Spot, and we did a dividend recap and we did a transaction, and I came onto the market. I took about a month off and I realized that I can't stay home because it was driving my family crazy. So then I started to, network around and what was best. And, one of the first people I called was my contacts over at Genstar. One of my closest contacts is actually one of our board members, a guy named Gary Michael. And Gary's like, what do you know about Vector? I'm like, I don't know anything. So started to do homework on the company. And one of the things that connected me intensely to Vector was at my last company, when COVID happened, we had to go instantly virtual first. And the first thing I did was I contracted with an LMS. And we were moving so much toward learning. So I've been as an executive around learning, around technology and SaaS. I know the owners. So all these things came together into like a secret sauce of, finding the right opportunity. And I don't think a lot about geography, especially less now, since so many of us work kind of in hybrid environments and things like that. So I just try to find the right people. I met Mark, I met Scott, I met some of the board members, I met you, and it just felt right. And that's much more important to me than where headquarters is.
So you've been with us for under 90 days
I think it's a whopping 6 weeks.
at the point of the filming of this. Use one word to describe those 90 days.
Learning.
Okay.
Listen, there's both. It's learning for me. I think learning for the people who are around me and work for me and adapting to my style and us meeting in the middle. Our products around learning. And I think, people love their jobs when they're learning. People are love their job. They perform when they're learning. And people who are learning are engaged. And I think the people I've worked for, everybody's engaged. There's a ton of passion, and we're all learning what this journey is going to look like. And it's a lot different than the journey you've been on maybe for the last 10 years. And the next 10 years will be something totally different. So, I'm learning a ton. Like, people ask me, how's your new job? And that's the answer I give them. It's the same answer I give you. Learning a ton and super enjoying it.
Well, forget about your new job. Tell me, what was your very first job?
So I graduated the University of Michigan in May of 1993, and I graduated without a job. I traveled, and my last $2,000 I spent backpacking around Europe. And I got home on August 15th, and I opened up the classified ads of the New York Times. Yes, there were classifieds pre-web, and I got a job relatively quickly selling classified ads and Cadence magazine. Very exciting, controlled circ publication magazine that served the AutoCAD industry, which, by the way, was a learning magazine, how to get people to use AutoCAD. So my job, this is pre-CRM and pre-email, was I got a yellow legal pad every morning from my sales manager, and I was in a suit and tie commuting into New York City, and I had to call 80 software developers who were developing add-on software for the AutoCAD industry and convince them to buy classifieds in the magazine or make mortgage payments. So that was my first job. The parent company was a company called Miller Freeman, based out of San Francisco.
So let's switch gears. What do you do when you're not working?
This month has been a lot of work. Okay, so normal times. Listen, I have 3 kids. I have a kid in college. I have a kid graduating high school. I have a freshman in high school. So I spend a lot of times on sports sidelines, ultimate frisbee, field hockey, baseball, football. So I I feel like I'm a chauffeur in a lot of ways. And then, I do a lot of cooking. I find, we do so much talking in our jobs that I like to use my hands. So I do a lot of cooking. So a lot of pastas, a lot of breads. And then, I try to stay very active. So both for fitness and for mental health, I try to get out and run a couple times a week and hit the gym every once in a while I can. I'm like many other people, an addicted Peloton user. So between my kids, cooking, and exercise, those would be the big three.
What's your favorite thing to cook or that you're best known for?
Breads. I make a lot of bread. So we do a lot of homemade baking. I do a lot of sourdoughs. I do a lot of rolls. I don't know, I find Sunday afternoons, especially during football season, you're around the kitchen, you work with your hands, you make some bread, you make a fun pasta, and all of a sudden everybody's happy. So bread for sure.
So I know you're an animal lover. Can you introduce us to one of your furry
So one of
friends?
us is here. So I like I said, I was CEO of a puppy company the last time. So I have two puppy spots puppies. So this is Frankie. Frankie, wake up. Hello. So this is Frankie. She's our French Mastiff. She's about 2. She weighs about 120 pounds, and she sits with me while I'm working for the most time. I actually feel like anybody watching this video, most people have been on Zooms with me or Google Meet since I've been here. I've met a dog. There's another dog who's downstairs named Zoe, who's a Bernedoodle. So these are the 2 in the house.
That's terrific. Okay, let's move on to our lightning round.
Sure, you got it.
I'm going to give you 2 choices, and I just kind of need your instant
Okay.
decision, which one is more you. So are you ready?
I'm ready. You got it.
Okay. Jets or Giants?
Giants.
Barber or hairstylist?
Barber.
Beach or mountains?
I'm going to say both. Sorry.
Oh, breaking the rules. All right. Starbucks or Dunkin'?
Dunkin'.
Yeah, you're Northeast. That's Dunkin'.
Yeah, to be honest with you, like Starbucks opened up in our town, and I really haven't gone because I really like the minority and small-owned businesses. So my actual answer to that is the small local proprietor or neither.
Okay.
But if I had to choose between the 2, I'd choose Dunkin'.
Jason Bourne or James Bond?
That's a good question. I'll say Bourne.
Vans or Nikes?
Nikes.
Salty or
runner.
what do you say?
I said I'm a runner, so it'll be Nikes over Vans.
Salty or sweet?
Oh, it's sweet. Big sweet tooth problem in this house.
Long drive or long walk?
Long drive.
Concerts or movies?
Movies. Not a live music guy. Not a live music guy. Yeah, it doesn't make
really?
any sense. It is one of my wife's main complaints in our relationship is I don't love live music.
Have you've been to, what's the last concert you went to? Do you remember?
Ironically, it was actually last Saturday night. We went to a Dylan cover band in New York City. But I went because I had prerequisites. Is can I sit down? I'm not going to stand at a concert. And is there food and drink? And it was a sit at a table and there was food and drink. So I went, and I actually didn't hate it. But I'm not going to the arena or the stadium for concerts at my age.
Well, if you're going on a live drive, are you listening to a podcast? Or are you listening to music, or what? Or you're listening to? Are you just in your head?
There's many permutations. Depends on if the kids are in the car, because then I have to just listen to what they make me. So I'm very in tune with the young music. But if it's just Allison and myself, it's almost always music.
Okay. Well, John, thank you for your time today. I know you're super busy. You're learning a lot, but we really appreciate it. I'll let you out of the interrogation seat, and I hope you have a really great day.
It is my pleasure, and it's been a joy to meet everybody, a joy to be here, and I can't wait to see what the fruits of our labor will be. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.